Hi, I'm David. I own and operate Country Whatnot Gardens here outside of Rochester, Indiana, which is about an hour south of the Michigan state line. I grow 25 different species and varieties of bamboo, including Phyllostachys parvifolia right behind me. And this is the 2024/2025 winter update for winter damage on the different species of bamboo here. And you can see it has some burn on it, a little bit. These tan leaves are wind burnt. They'll be dropped and replaced by new leaves when the weather warms. It's currently 22 degrees Fahrenheit here today. And you can see there's still a lot of green left on this, particularly more so in the interior of the grove, where it was more protected from the wind. If I bend down, if I can bend down, let's see, one of these culms and look at the top, very, very top. Give me a second. Okay, there we are. You can see it's a little bit more dry out there toward the end, but I don't believe it has any twig damage. There's still some green foliage out here, clear to the end of this culm. So I think it's going to be okay. There it goes, pop right back up. But I'm pretty pleased with the way things have went this winter. We've had sort of 2 rounds of polar vortex, although the first one did pretty much miss us. It veered south and hit the southern states, unfortunately, for the folks down there. But the second round did get us, and we had some wind along with that, but nothing too terrible at that time. It was followed by period of, I think, about a month at least of below freezing temperatures. So all things considered, it's done pretty well, and it's going to look really good once all these old leaves drop and it gets new leaves. Now, this is a division of parvifolia that's only 3 or 4 years old, and you can see the stark contrast here of how it did over winter. It's really burnt, if not possibly top killed. I'd like to think it's not top killed, but it could be. But root mass makes a big difference, and whether the grove is established or not, because although this is the same species of that, and this is a division from that, it just wasn't settled in long enough. This is Phyllostachys bissetii. You can see it fared about the same as parvifolia this year, although in years past, parvifolia has been outdoing both bissetii and nuda. This is the more protected side of the grove, away from where the majority of the winter wind comes from. Heading around over here on the west side of the grove is where the majority of the winter winds typically hit. You can see a little bit more burn over here. Right there. Quite a bit more tan. Clear up. But if you look further back into the grove, there's better leaves right back in there. So where it was protected more from the wind, it fared a lot better. This is Phyllostachys aureosulcata Spectabilis. I need to remember to do the common names. It's been a frequent request. Phyllostachys parvifolia, first bamboo in the video. Common name on that is Anji golden. And I don't like common names, to be honest. Now, let's go back to parvifolia. Okay, see these culms of parvifolia? And I'll try not to get sidetracked here from doing the winter damage report, but they turn golden after a few years, even though they do start out this olive green right here. So that is why Phyllostachys parvifolia is called Anji golden. The reason I don't like common names, particularly when it comes to yellow clones of the various species of bamboo, is because it gets very confusing. There's golden bamboo, which is Phyllostachys aurea. There's golden crookstem bamboo, which is Phyllostachys aureosulcata Aureocaulis. And there's Anji golden, which is Phyllostachys parvifolia. And there's even more beyond that, I'm sure, that I'm not thinking of. It gets very confusing because anytime there's any mention of the word gold or golden in bamboo, in the common name, people will ask me about my quote-unquote golden bamboo. And it's like, which one? Because I have 2 of those 3 I just mentioned. Phyllostachys parvifolia, Anji golden. Phyllostachys aureosulcata, Aureocaulis, golden crookstem. Now, the Botanical is much handier, in my opinion, if you can get around it. And I'll try to put it in the description of the video here. Try to remember to do that for the various ones. I don't know that I'm going to be able to remember to mention the common names for everyone because I just don't use them in my everyday vernacular. I use the botanical names, but I will try to do better for those who want the common names, even though they do get very confusing. Anyway, now back to Phyllostachys bissetii. It is Bisset's bamboo. This is the Spectabilis clone of Phyllostachys aureosulcata. I can't remember a common name for Spectabilis, just the Spectabilis clone of yellow groove, I guess, but it doesn't have yellow grooves. It has green grooves. It's the reverse of the species. If I can find part of it that's not faded out, you can see it very faintly here. This time of year, the stripes are oftentimes faded out. You can see some right back in there. There's some. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. But see, this this form of aureosulcata has a green sulcus instead of a yellow sulcus like the species. This is Phyllostachys nuda, nude sheath bamboo. And you can see it's wind burnt here on the western side of the grove, but just past the outer branches here, you can see it's got more green all back in there. So not top killed this year. That's good. A little bit of wind burn on the outside. It'll drop these old leaves and put new leaves on and look a lot better when warm weather comes. This is Phyllostachys rubromarginata, red margin bamboo. And it's pretty much top killed as the usual is here this far north, except for a few select spots where there's still some live foliage. So how much is top killed and how much is wind burnt really isn't apparent yet until the weather warms and we see what rebuds out again or what doesn't. This is just regular old plain straight run-of-the-mill species Phyllostachys aureosulcata, yellow groove bamboo. And you can see it's pretty crispy. It's a pretty crispy critter. Got some live stuff back in there still. So again, as with rubromarginata, we'll see what rebuds out and what doesn't as soon as the weather warms. This is the Aureocaulis clone of Phyllostachys aureosulcata, even though it is a clone of yellow groove bamboo, because it has these yellow culms which have an occasional crook in the lower part of the culm. I don't see an example right here at the moment. Let's see if I can find one. Anyway, they call this golden crook stem. I don't see a crook stem at the moment. But anyway, here's some foliage that has sort of survived. It has some dappled damage there on it, but I think it's okay. I don't think the grove is completely top killed. I think there's probably some twig damage in addition to the wind burn, but I think it will mostly recover on the same culms once warm weather comes, in addition to, of course, producing the new shoots. This is the Tsutsumiana clone of Pseudosasa japonica. They call it green onion bamboo. Pretty much always top kills here. I've never had a winter that it doesn't. It's just too far north for it. It still creates a nice low to mid-sized bamboo here this far north. And I know everybody down south, zones 7, 8, is going to say, oh, mine doesn't top kill and it gets really tall. Okay, yours does. Try growing it in this climate. That is Pleioblastus simonii over there. Always top kills too, but always comes back in the spring and makes pretty decent tall bamboo, more so than japonica, Pseudosasa japonica, Tsutsumiana here, the green onion bamboo. And it will come back and produce new shoots in the spring and get right back up there again. This is Sasa oshidensis. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know a common name for this one. There's the name. But it did get some windburn, mostly on the uppermost leaves. The lower leaves look pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with how it did. I'm wanting it eventually to fill in the whole section of this yard here. I think it'll get there. On down the walk here we have Fargesia, dracocephala, Rufa. It's got some windburn a little bit on the upper culms, some little bit there. There's some good leaves there on that one. But overall, it's not done too bad. Pretty happy with how it's done this year. This is Indocalamus tessellatus. I've had it here for probably close to 9 years, if not more. And it's not done a lot, even though it's classified as a runner. I would chalk a lot of that up to climate. But this is one of the first years that it has had very little top kill. It's got some windburn over there. A lot of this tan that's on the leaves is actually, like down there, is actually cayenne pepper I've put here because this culm here, the foliage was eaten off by deer or rabbits, and I put some 90,000 Scoville unit cayenne pepper down to help prevent that. So a lot of that tinge you see on the leaf is actually the cayenne pepper, but you can still see some green showing through. Did really well. I'm happy with how this did this winter. This is a very wind-burnt Sasamorpha borealis. I don't know the common name for it. I don't know if it has one, but it's got some green foliage, a bit, down in there. I think these same culms will rebud come warm weather after it drops these old leaves. There we go, Sasamorpha borealis. And of course, the Harbin clone of yellow groove bamboo. I had to stop to think. Phyllostachys aureosulcata Harbin. Has top killed like it always does, but it's still such a worthwhile bamboo to grow just because of this cool culm that's not only striped all the way around, but grooved all the way around. It's so cool. But it does come back in the spring and produces new shoots and gets decently tall. It's been gaining height every year that I've had it so far. 15 years, and it's spread out that big. I need to dig off those down there and put them down there where I want some, probably. This is the Harbin-Inversa clone of yellow groove bamboo. You see wind burnt on the outer portions of the grove, but green still in the middle. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with how it did. This is the Macon clone of our native Arundinaria gigantea, river cane. See quite a bit of windburn on it, but a lot of green leaves left. These old culms, I believe, will put on new leaves just as soon as the weather warms. This is my Incense Bamboo, Phyllostachys atrovaginata. See a lot of green left on it yet. Of course, the tan, windburn on the outer portions. Still a lot of green in there. Again, should rebud out on the same culms. Pretty happy with how it did. Up the way is green temple bamboo, Semi-Arundinaria fastuosa viridis. Top killed like usual. That's normal here, this far north. But really happy with how Incense Bamboo did here, Phyllostachys atrovaginata. So that has been the winter update. I'm pretty pleased with the way the bamboo has handled this winter. It's went really well. If you liked the video or found it useful, please give me a like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, thank you for stopping by and take care. Bye.